boys and girls, we're back. I wanted to talk to you today about the moon and why the moon changes. The moon is always a big ball out in the sky, but we don't always see it as a full ball. And throughout the course of the month, it seems like the moon changes, but it doesn't really. It's just the part of the moon that is lit up by the sun that we're seeing from Earth that's changing. Out in space, it's always a ball out there, a big ball of rock. So it takes the moon about 29 days to go through its whole cycle, okay? So I kind of want to show you how this works. And then I have a short activity for you guys to do at home if mom and dad can get you some cookies, but if not, you can just color it. Okay, so I'm going to show you. This is our sun. This lamp is going to be our sun. You, when I turn you around, your face, the camera, is going to be the earth, and this is going to be the moon, and we're going to see how this works, okay? Okay, so we're back. There's our sun. This is the moon, okay? And your face, the camera, is the earth, okay? So right now, when we're looking at the moon, the part of the moon that we're seeing is not lit up at all. So when we look at that, that's a new moon. Right now, the back part of the moon is being lit up, but the part that we're seeing is not lit up at all. So over the course of 29 days, the moon orbits, or it goes around the earth. So it's going to move, right? And we are on earth. So I want you to see where the light is coming in. Do you see the light starting to come in over here, right? So that, what we call that is called a waxing crescent moon. Waxing means that it's getting bigger, and the crescent is just the little part that's lit up. So over the course of the month, it's going to keep going, and it's going to get more and more lit up, okay? So now where we would see kind of this half of the moon lit up. So what that's called is that would be called the first quarter moon, because it's 1/4 of the whole sphere that's lit up, okay? So then as we keep going, more and more and more, do you see how it's getting brighter? It gets lit up. And this part is still in the shade, but this whole part over here would be in the light. That's called a waxing gibbous moon. Gibbous, okay? That means that more than half of the face that we see is lit up, and it's getting bigger. So then as we keep going, then we get to the point where it becomes a full moon, and the whole side of the moon is lit up, okay? So this is a full moon, is that we see the whole half that's in the sun, we can see it from Earth, okay? Your face is Earth. So then it's gonna keep going, and then the shadow is gonna start coming in from this side, okay? So now it's gonna start getting smaller. The moon's gonna start getting smaller. At least the part that we can see is getting smaller. So the shadow is coming in from the right side. This is called a waning gibbous moon. Waning means that it's getting smaller, okay? Then it's gonna keep going. And now this half is in shadow and this half is in light. So this is called a third quarter moon, okay? Third quarter moon. And then we're gonna keep going. And now more than half in here is in shadow, and we just see a sliver over here that's in the light. That's called a waning crescent, okay? And then we come back. It gets smaller until the whole thing is in shadow again, and we're back to the new moon. All right, guys, we're back. So now our activity that we get to do is we're gonna make some moon phases using Oreos or fake Oreos, but we're gonna use some Oreo type cookies, okay? So what you need is a plastic knife or a popsicle stick or something that you can scrape the frosting off of your Oreo with. And maybe a toothpick and some napkins and a piece of paper, okay? So what I did with my piece of paper is I just took it and I folded it in half hot dog style. right? And then I folded it in half, hamburger style. And then I folded it in half, hamburger style, again, okay? And when you do that, you end up with 8 sections, okay? So then I wrote in my types of moon, my moon phases. So I've got a new moon, a waxing crescent, which is gonna have the light coming in from the right side. It's gonna be a little sliver on the right side. The first quarter is gonna be about half. Waxing gibbous is gonna be bigger than half. The full moon, we'll see the whole circle. Then waning gibbous is gonna be smaller, getting smaller. Last quarter is gonna be about half again. And waning crescent is going to be just a teeny tiny sliver again. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your Oreos and pull them apart like this, okay? You need 7 or 8 Oreos. Now, the great thing about this is at school, we would glue them onto your papers, but we're not at school. So hopefully, Mom and Dad will let you eat some of them. So I'm just gonna pull my Oreos apart so that I have 2 sides. Maybe Mom and Dad can help you, or you could do it and it's gonna work just fine, okay? So there, now I have all 8 of my Oreos pulled apart. Some of them didn't come apart perfect, but that's okay. So my first Oreo is going to be my new moon. My new moon, we don't see any part of the moon. So for that one, I'm just gonna take my Oreo and go like this, because you don't see any part of that moon at all, okay? The sun is shining on the other side of the moon, so we don't see it. So then the next part we want to do is we want to make a waxing crescent moon. The light's going to be coming in from the right side. Now if I look at my Oreos, this one already kind of has a crescent on it, just the way that I pulled it off. So you could use one of those, but I might want it to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to pull off a little bit more of it, right? And just put that back over on my plate. Okay. So that is my waxing crescent. And I want to make sure that my waxing crescent, the light is coming in from the right side. So this is the part of the moon that's lit up. This is the part of the moon that's dark. But just so that you know, we always have that whole sphere is always out there. This is just the only part that we can see right now when there's a waxing crescent. Then we're gonna go to the first quarter. With the first quarter, I'm gonna use this one because it's already kind of messed up. I'm just gonna cut about half of that off, right? And scrape it off. And put that over on my plate, right? Now, does the light side go on the right side or the left side? Because it's gonna be getting bigger, getting bigger. It's gonna be on the right side. So we're gonna put it there like that. So we've got our new moon, our waxing crescent, then our first quarter. Our waxing gibbous means that it's still getting bigger, but more than half of the moon is illuminated. So for this one, I'm gonna take a cookie that's full, and I'm just gonna cut off part of the frosting. I'm not doing this very well for you. Part of the frosting on this side, like that, okay? So it's not quite the whole circle, right? But it's getting bigger still. So there's no moon showing, then there's a little bit more, a little bit more, okay? So now, from here, we get to a full moon. So I'm gonna take a piece of cookie that came off together in one piece, and that's my full moon. The whole moon is illuminated to us. It's all lit up. We can see the whole side of the moon, okay? Now, from here to here, it was getting bigger. From here to here, it's gonna start getting smaller, okay? So now I'm going to take one that's almost all full, right? Now it's gonna start getting smaller from the right side. So I'm gonna take this, I'm using my toothpick because that's easier for me. You could use a toothpick or a knife, plastic knife, okay? So now my full moon is starting to get smaller. It's the shadow now is coming in from the right side, okay? from here, we're gonna have a moon that we only see half of the illuminated side again. So I'm gonna cut off half of the frost, ooh, half of the frosting side, okay? And we have to make sure that the shadow is on the right side now, okay? And then, so now we go from a full moon to a waning gibbous, getting smaller, to the last quarter, it's still getting smaller. Now we have to go down to a waning crescent. So at the waning crescent, we're just gonna leave a little bit of the lit up side. So most of our moon will be in shadow. So I cut it like that, but now I have to pull the big, ooh, I broke it. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, that's okay. It'll still work because we're just gonna eat them later. My kids are gonna be very happy. So that's okay. My cookie broke, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. We're just gonna sit it there. So now we only see a teeny tiny part of the moon being illuminated over here. So if the sun is on this side, right, and the earth is in the middle, this is kind of how it would go from here. It goes from a new moon to a waxing crescent to a first quarter to a waxing gibbous to a full moon to a waning gibbous to a last quarter to a waning crescent. Now, if mom and dad if they can't get cookies because they can't go to the grocery store, or they don't want you eating cookies, that's okay. You could also just color these and that would be totally fine. Just as long as you understand that the moon is always a big sphere, right? It only changes during the month because of the way that the light shines on it and what we see from Earth. And for the moon to go around the Earth, it takes about 29 days. And that's that. So I hope you guys are doing well. And I have to think of something else to do with you, but I have to do the other grade levels first. So hopefully you'll get to do this and have a great time. And I miss you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.